Thought another goal is all we needed. Taking second chances till we bleed. And when all the love had been depleted, we had but no choice to concede. As the stars were dancing in that line, past that we could never run. Oh, they were dancing way up high. Stars were dancing in that line. Future we will never run. Dirt on our feet was bone dry. It was bone dry.
Hello guys and welcome to NSE Summer 2020. Joining you today is going to be me, Sigmoid, and my co-caster.
RW Drain.
Hello.
So starting off our stream today, in fact starting off NSE Summer, we're going to have Staffordshire Bim Bam facing off against Durham Defenders. And these two teams, well, at least Durham, they've been on a little bit of a tear in terms of Europe. I believe they got through their EURC qualifier relatively problem-free. I believe they did go through the lower bracket to get into the next stage, but making it through in Europe, that is quite a tricky task, and they managed to do it in, I think, qualifier number 2. So, great work
That's
from
pretty
Durham.
pretty early for an EURC qualifier.
Mm.
Of course, last season, Spring NSE, not such a good result. Made third in the Northern playoffs. That's 20th-ish overall. What are your thoughts on their prospects for this season, though?
Well, in terms of summer, at least some are reasonably high, actually, considering how they've been doing in EURC, getting that motivation, getting that momentum, going into NSE summer to face off against some of the higher seeded teams. I would say they have a pretty good shot if they're able to take on some European teams. At the moment, in terms of win split, I'm not sure how many of them are actually sticking around after this. I think HT Champs and Mordisha, at least both of them, have been around for quite a while. So this might be their last roll of the dice in terms of NSE. But you know what? They do have a pretty good shot of getting very far in this competition.
And there's nothing like a motivator like it being your last season to drive you towards either championship or challenger playoffs, depends what they're aiming for. Let's do a rundown of the format. So this season it's entirely Swiss up till the playoffs as before, but it's one Swiss bracket. There is no North and South regional divisions. Do you prefer it all bunched up, or do you think you preferred it with divisions, Dragon?
Playing it was rough. Dropping down into the regionals was rather tough to go through after being in nationals. But I think actually splitting it up in between two categories made it a little bit easier in a way. Like when it came down to sort of who you were playing every week, you would sort of you knew you were going to face off against the best of the best in nationals. So every week you'd sort of think, all right, got to play like my usual 1700 self, really pushing myself up there. But when it comes down to it, when you start getting up the Rocket League ladder, when you start getting up to 1900, 1800, 2K, in fact, if we're talking about Kiri from Kent, you end up getting sort of a regular type of play, but then the team starts to work out what they need to do to win, and that's where the variation comes in. Whereas when you're down lower into the regional part of the bracket, in terms of the regional Swiss, everything's a lot more jumbled in terms of skill level. I mean, I'm currently sitting around 1500 towards 1600. In fact, exactly 1600 at the moment. And that sort of jumps around in between people with a lot of mechanical skill, but no mental side, so they're not really great positional. But if you pass them the ball, they're probably going to do something nutty. And at the other end of the park, there's those with really good mental play. They sort of understand defensive play, they understand attacking play. But when it comes to sort of trusting them with mechanics, that's where they tend to sort of slip up and lose their grasp. So, and that's sort of where things come in. You sort of see these higher end players play against lower end players, especially in the 6-man server that we have going. They sometimes can actually struggle and it can trip you up. And that's what I'm sort of half expecting to see sort of these first 2 or 3 weeks. There might be a few shocks in store where we see lower end sort of maybe upper regional teams or sort of mid-range regional teams. They might actually trip up some of the national teams that we've seen before. Those whiffs that can come in, they may be accidental, but the flow of the game gets interrupted because of that. And that flow is what the higher end players thrive off of. Today, this matchup, Staffs and Durham, two very good sides in the northern region. I'm not expecting that we'll have that much today, but I'm not putting it aside. There's probably going to be some whiffs, but I reckon we're going to have a very fluid game between these two.
So we're expecting a fluid game. Who's it going to go to? Going to go to Staffs or Durham?
You know what? Staff's always tripped up the old Bournemouth team. Me, Gamble, Wilbur, for some reason, but they always has the most fluid game. And I think Durham, from my experience of watching them, not quite playing them because I don't think I've had the chance of doing that yet. They're much less fluid. They don't quite have the smoothness the Staffs have, and I think that's what I feel now that I've talked about it. I have to sort of put my money on that being the deciding factor between these two teams, how fluid these guys play, and I think Staffs have that ability.
I'm gonna go off past results. Durham making EURC, getting third in the Northern playoffs. I think Durham are going to take this.
And I think players are chomping at the bit now. I'm sure our producer's getting annoyed at us talking so much. So let's get these guys going. Staffs against Durham to start off the summer league. Won by, I believe, Swansea last year, and we didn't hear the end of that from CJ Buller. So which team will be using that to fuel their ego next year? And I think we might have to restart the lobby as one of the players
there we
I've
go then.
logged.
First match of the tournament, first technical difficulty of the tournament. As has been said in chat, this is Rocket League.
Absolutely. So gonna have to create once everyone leaves the lobby. It looks like we're gonna have to recreate, but it does give us a moment because we didn't really talk about Staffs that much, and I did say briefly to start off with the Staffs are very fluid, they're very passing based, they're very, very quick. And I think that's what early Bournemouth team, sort of myself and Gamble being low 1500s. Wilbur, he's just fine. He's 2K now. He was 1900 at the time. He's okay playing against the speed. But myself and Gamble really struggled with it at the start. And that's the sort of fluidity that sort of ends up developing over a season and getting a lot better. It's why, in my personal opinion, winning the spring split is a much harder job than winning the winter split. Because winter, everyone's coming in off summer and they might not play with their teammates as much at a university level. They get into spring and they sort of thought, all right, we've had a semester to get together. Let's get this going again. And it ends up being so much better. What we have to hope for at the moment in terms of Staffs, if they've kept that practice going and kept themselves on a roll, and if they've done that, then I reckon this is going to play into their hands.
Yeah, you talked about practice over the summer. Seems a couple of teams haven't been practicing over the course of the spring, though. Had a couple of notable dropouts. Do you want to run us through those?
In terms of the teams that aren't with us for the
summer split, yeah.
Well, for one, we've lost out. We're losing out on some Brighton play. New teammate Wardley. He's not quite what 100% sure what's gone on. They aren't available for this split, so they're not going to be playing. Nottingham Trent due to COVID. Misty is back in Malaysia, so he's not going to be able to play. And I think most of the team anyway don't have exactly got the best setup. Without further ado, let's get these guys playing as we finish up. Let's finish up talking about staffs, and of course other teams that have dropped out. So there are a few teams that we'll be missing out on, but what we won't be missing out on is the action now as Zouch joins us in the lobby. HT Champs taking out the back wall to take it forward. Skiz, great for quick challenge. Mordisha can't get the edge of going, but does block out Loza from continuing. Zouch moving forward, whiffs the ball, sending it to the corner. Bread continues it round. HT Champs will block that out quite easily. Loza waiting for a central pass that doesn't come. Zouch brings it round one. Skiz blocks into the center. HT Champs, round one. Loza saves onto the backboard. Zouch is up, so is Skiz. Off the corner, into the center. Mordisha to the backboard. This opening 40 seconds. Playing a little bit more into Durham's hands as staffs have not been allowed to get their speed up so far. Minute in, we are still tied at 0-0. As both teams look for an opener. And as I was saying, Bread scores the first goal of NSE summer.
Just below the crossbar, gets right into the goal. Mordisha struggling with that clear off the backboard, wasn't able to get it away, resulted in an easy setup for Bread, just cuts into the top corner. Bread now taking the kick off against HT Champs.
Start off with Mordisha can't quite find the finish. Loza brings it forward in a dribble, sent out to the side by Zouch. HT Champs off the diagonal. Straight upfield, Skiz finds a catch, but no time to collect his thoughts as HT Champs finds a block. Zouch has a shot. Tied game after not much time after the first goal.
Yes, is struggling to gain control of that ball, and then the 50-50 well won by the Durham team, resulting in a nice setup, and they finished the job tight back up at 1-1. Mordisha now playing this ball back up the field again. It's going up for this ball, it's going to tap it, tries to tap it towards the backboard, but Loza sits it away. Zouch forced to half flip, and that ball's now gone back over Bread. HT Champs taking 50-50, balls bounce to the middle. Loza playing it forward. Mordisha plays it high. Still an opportunity for Staffordshire if anyone's able to capitalise, but there's nobody there for the ball.
Staffs at the moment on the front foot as one pass comes in. Loza sends it wide. It's still in the center. No one there to follow up. One problem with playing so fast for staffs is boost management, and if you go back for 100 boost, that can be the breakdown of the attack. Mordisha pops it up. HT Champs is up, drops it down. Mordisha is there, but sends it wide, sends it square across the field. Mordisha towards back post, Zouched.
Oh, God, I think he probably should have been able to do more with that. HT Champs now playing this slowly around the backboard. It's out to Mordisha, but Bread able to get that block, bouncing back into the box. Zouch missing his touch, and the side of Staffordshire able to play that away just a bit.
Backline defensive staffs now need to come into play. It seems to be the point where they slow down. As soon as you pin them down on defense, they seem to just turtle up a little bit too much as Loza looking for a clearance to alleviate the pressure. Does for a moment, but not quite enough time, I would say, for staffs. Need a little bit more time to catch their breath. This gives Rauld moving around the side. Can't maintain possession. Mordisha upfield again. Zouch to the center. This is great stuff from staffs now. They sped up their play as soon as they get out of defense, but everything breaks down again. Staff's rotation's just a little bit off at the moment.
Yeah, we're going to see Loza now pick this ball up in his own corner. He's got to beat two beats out Mordisha and HT Champs for 2, almost double committing over on that right side of the field. Zouch now hitting that ball. It's going to be off the backboard, looking for a second touch, but Fred gets to it first, rolls it back on the side.
Keep going. Staffs have a little bit of a breakaway. It's only Zouch on defense, pinch into the center. Nobody square to pick up the possession, take the shot. Bread, early challenge that Mordisha easy gets round, puts it into the center. HT Champs blocked out by Loza. Zouch moving around the side. Bread keeping it away this time. We only have 45 seconds remaining in the first game of the first series, broadcasted this summer. It's Mordisha maintaining control, the flick into the center. Zouch is there, off the crossbar. What can Staffs do? Not much. HT Champs finishes it off. 34 seconds to go. Durham have the lead.
It's another 3-man play side of Durham to get this ball into the net. You've got to think if Staffordshire are able to maybe conserve their boost a little more, run some interrupt in the play, but Durham are going to struggle a lot more to get these balls inside the net. I think that was Zouch missing another shot which he could feasibly have put in himself this game.
Don't need to particularly worry about Zouch's shot percentage at the moment. Might have cost direct goals, but his assists are loving it at the moment as we tick down towards the last 10 seconds. Here we go. Staffs have it all to do. Demo play not doing much as 2 are ready to pick it off. And as we hit 0 seconds, just kept alive for a moment. Mordisha sending it back upfield. Skizrald.
There's no blue
There's a
players
little bit
there,
of
that's going to hit the
space.
floor. There we go. Game 1 over to Durham. Staffordshire had the lead, they gave it away, and I want to say that's down to a small amount of boost mismanagement and a lot of good team play from Durham. We saw both goals were a result of a 3-man passing play, albeit off the backboard, and down to Zouch missing a couple of shots and getting an assist as a result.
Yeah, it was very much an opposite effect in terms of the rotations. I mean, Staffs started to lean off a little bit too much as soon as they got upfield because of their boost numbers. But Durham, they managed to maintain things very nicely. And as soon as they got the attack, as soon as they saw the slightest opportunity, just like we saw in the second goal, Zouch missing out, bouncing on the line. All of a sudden, we had HT Champs just fly in and smash it into the back of the net and finish things off. That's what Staffs kind of missed out on in this game. Durham had the boost and they had the pressure to convert a lot of the opportunities. So the shot percentage that we see there, it sort of moves into assists in a way. That the shots became something else in terms of the grand scheme of the game. Everyone joins this time. We don't have to worry about restarting the lobby. As we start game 2, Staffs 1 game behind, but very fixable problems to deal with.
HT Champs playing that into his own back corner, trying to buy his Durham side a little bit of time. Staffs pushed up on offense, but it's just Loza back and now able to get that touch to the side. And another touch before HT Champs demos it. Mordisha keeping the ball high. Bread playing it to the side again. Lots of aggressive play coming out of his Durham side right now. There's demos across the board, and now HT Champs had an opportunity on an open net, but he's fully whiffed it. Zouch plays the ball straight into Bread, and now Staffordshire with an opportunity on offense.
Welcome to NSE summer, everyone. Get your sun cream out because things are about to get hot. Hot via demos, mainly. HT Champs drops it down. Skiz. Shot on target, but that was I'm not sure how to evaluate that entire situation. Durham mostly missing out on opportunities. But Staffs, they opened up the field with demos, but then just kind of left the ball behind, so they didn't have anything to use for the possession that they had. The time that they had on the ball just disappeared. It melted away.
And I think that was one of the things we tried very late in game 1 as well, trying to get those demos. And just as I start talking as a colour caster, Mordisha puts the ball into the back of the net. Loza losing about 50-50 with Vouch and Mordicia, puts that ball straight onto target, and Skiz not able to get a touch on the ball to put it to the side.
Again, as you were saying, the demos towards the end of the game from Staffs trying to open up the pitch itself before you were rudely interrupted by the first goal of the game. Skiz trying to keep it off the backboard, but things are just really messy from Staffs as it opens up the net again. You need to calm down in defending the net. Loza just manages to make the touch to send it away. Bread is up. Sending it upfield. Just enough time for Loza to block out HT champs. Zouch. To the corner. Bread again blocked out. This is very cagey play from Staffs. This isn't the Staffs that I've played. This isn't the confident team that we've seen before.
I don't think this is either of the teams we've seen before. This is NSE Week 1 play teams. The whiffs are coming out. There's probably going to be a few great plays which are aided by the fact that players aren't fully confident in their team yet. That being said, HG Champs has put that ball on target. Loza wasn't expecting it. It's gone into the top right corner, and Durham now with a 2-goal lead and 2.5 minutes gone.
Seems that my prediction's going to end up being wrong. Durham, they seem to just be taking that EUR momentum and experience, and they are taking it forward. And Staffs, it does seem like it's going to end up being a few weeks, a few series before they can fully get back into the mindset of things. It is odd to see. This is the Staffs B team, but the way that sort of Staffs have moved around their members and who's been in the first team before and their play styles. I mean, I believe Loza's been in the first team. Skiz has definitely had a few experiences playing with the top side. Bread, I believe, has been there off the top of my head. All three of these guys have dropped into the, well, not dropped, moved up into the first team for whatever reason. And it just seems like they have not kept that playstyle going into this team.
You've got to think, though, if they've got the teams exactly right, and Staffordshire have got the best 3 players on their first team, they're probably doing pretty all right. Because it's not a bad performance from their B team, they're just not filling all the holes they need to, and they're lacking a bit of the confidence.
Must be first week nerves, but Durham, they are not suffering from that. So they're pushing for a 3rd goal here. Loza, the passing play. That is a little glimpse of what I was thinking would be what we were seeing from Staffs. Brief passing play brought in. Good speed from Bread to get forward off to the backboard. Bread up. Can't find a block, but Staffs trying to get themselves forward. As a passing play comes through, Loza is up. Can he find the read? He can't. Bread comes through. Can't find a touch. Skizrailed on the whiff. No shot coming through. And Durham, more of a moment of survival than thriving on defense there.
You've got to give them credit for at least trying it, haven't you? And try they will again. 23 seconds left to back to within 1 goal. A brilliant shot from Bread, carrying it over the 2 players, first with a flick and then with an air carry, I think assisted by Loza, unsighting the player in net.
Great play from Staffs to open up the net. We start again. Durham. It's very possible that Staffs can find a way back into this match in the last 15 seconds. Durham march forward to look for a 3rd. Pass from Skiz to Loza. Loza, the shot on target.
Almost
fantastic save from Mordicia. That could save them game 2. The Zouts can bring it forward. Does enough on the 50-50, but Skiz does have possession. It drops. Durham take game 2.
I'll complete the point I was trying to make before. I was interrupted once again by the Staffordshire goal. You've got to give them credit for at least trying these plays, but it's been a couple of times where they've tried to pull off either a demolition interruption play or a passing play, and they just haven't done all the steps they need to make. So for the demo plays, I don't think they had control of the ball For the passing play, I don't think they were aware that 2 players were back in net, and they had pretty much all the angles covered.
And we did see it progress throughout the game, and we did see, well, their goal, in fact, one of them went up for the edge rule bump. They didn't quite get it, but that sort of attempt to go for it caused one of the defender in net to sort of try to start avoiding it, but then try and get back up to it. And they just ended up not having time to properly clear it. They owned the goal towards the end with that final incredible save from Mordisha in net. The pass from Skiz to Loza to the shots, that was perfectly done. It's just Mordisha was in the way that time. So the passing plays are starting to come out. The successful demo plays or bump plays are starting to come out. Much more positive, but the question still hangs above their head if they can get this reverse sweep now, or if Durham can continue from here.
That ball in the Staffordshire corner right now. It's Bread. He's dropped it down straight to Zouch. It wasn't the clear he was after. And Loza now left with an awkward clear, gets it away to the corner. Buys his team a little more time. With HC Champs missing this, I think the play is pretty much gone neutral.
Or has it? Ooh, the pass is not quite going to fruition. Double commit from Durham to cross. Bread can't find the pass. We can see little glimpses, little moments of brilliance going through from staffs that aren't quite connecting. Loza again going for a bump play, finds the miss, but does cause a little bit of hesitation on the first attack from Zouch. Durham do have a counter, and they do make the most of it, though. Staffs, all those attacks, all those moments, they come to nothing, and Durham, they take the lead.
It's not Zouch's first goal of the series, but it was definitely one of the class here, able to redirect that touch at very short notice into the bottom corner away from the defenders. I think Staffordshire are going to need more than a couple of moments of brilliance to bring this all the way back, though. They are 2 games down in a best-of-5 series. They're on the brink of getting swept in their opening game of the season, and that's not really a good look, even if you're the B team.
The first and the closest chance of the game for Staffs coming off the crossbar. Skiz upfield. Loza drops it down, blocked out though. Bread trying to move it forward, but touch a bit too heavy. Loza pushing outfield. It's Mordisha to Zouch, dropping down, blocked out by Staffs again. The backline defense starting to come through for Staffs a little bit more. Skiz finds the demo, but Loza goes high. Zouch cleared
that was on target, that was going on.
It must have been. Nobody was left in net for Durham. It was a perfect demo, but not a perfect shot to match it. Loza to the side, into the center. Zouch blocking that out. HT Champs, his turn, missing out. Time for Staffs to move upfield. There's Loza on the ball to Bread. The shot blocked by Mordisha. Great read of the pass. Durham starting to step up themselves.
Mordisha being a defensive all-star again to this Durham roster. I think that's the second time he's made a crucial disaster preventing save and clear for the Durham side. And he's going to be taking this ball round again, beating up Loza, still got control of this ball, misses the ball, but he threw off Skiz for long enough. HG Champs coming off the sidewall, taps the ball down, it's not a strong touch, now Bread's got control of the ball and is going to start pushing it up the field.
Up off the backboard, Bread. That's the opportunity for Staffs. Great stuff here. Skiz, the perfect touch, nobody up on the backboard, nobody defending that, and Durham undone by the backboard. That is season 3 of RLCS, lads, that you should be watching if you want a masterclass in either backboard defense or backboard attack.
Arguably one of the more stacked World Championships, but I think skill comparatively, NSE is pretty close to what the RLCS was back then. Now,
HT Champs moving it forward. Skiz pushing it into the center. Bread is there, but doesn't challenge it. And Mordisha puts enough speed onto the ball. The lead once again is Durham's.
Mordisha coming up clutch again. He we saw the last goal, the one that Staffordshire scored. The only reason I'd say we were able to get that was because Mordisha was on the floor and I think was the last person to get back off offense. HG Champs though is going to carry this ball around the side, tries to get it over to Skiz, but Skiz puts it up for Loza, dropping it down into the box. Mordisha there once again able to get a touch out.
Red, last one back. Finds Skiz. It's pushed forward again. Maybe another step needed to start opening up that net. Staffs Loza pre-jumped that about a year before it dropped down on the line. Skiz into the middle. Zouch can just about get there. Loza out to the side. What can Durham do here?
It's not on target. It's hit the post.
That was a great opportunity to have themselves a cushion to this 1-goal lead, but commits from Staffs. They might just have that second goal in the lead yet. Loza air dribbling it out. Dunked by Mordisha. Will drop down. HG Champs is there. Blocked by Skiz. Zouch's turn. Taken out by Loza to the side. Staffs can breathe a slight sigh of relief, but they still 1 goal down.
You've got to think though, if Staffordshire can somehow bring this back, Durham will be blaming themselves for not putting that goal in when they needed to. That being said, Mordisha has put the ball on target, and with 34 seconds left, this Durham side are 2 goals up. It's looking nigh on impossible for the Staffordshire side now.
Unfortunate that the challenge there didn't quite go to the side of Staffs. He just managed to find the side of the car. Sending it towards the backboard. 30 seconds to go. It's not a write-off yet for Staff's team. This is Rocket League in the end. A lot of things can happen in 20 seconds. HT
I think
Champs.
we saw it not too long ago. Was it Space Station brought it back from like a 3-goal deficit in the period of about 30 seconds. That being said, Staffordshire are only now getting this run up. Loza able to get the ball over. Bread not able to redirect it into the goal. The clock hits 0, and there's no time left for Staffordshire to bring this back. Durham 3, Staffordshire 0.
That brings a close to that series. But Staffs, a lot of positive plays coming through there, and especially in that final game. As I said, there were moments of brilliance, but also, as you said, they don't just need one to sort of claw back the series. They needed quite a few more than that to get back into the game. And that ended up being the truth, that these guys just weren't quite on the ball, weren't quite together. And that's what summer's going to do for a lot of these teams. A lot of them are just not going to be quite right in the way they're playing together. And it'll take a week, maybe 2 to get back into the swing of things. But we've set the ball rolling. Durham take the first series. But we'll be taking a quick break here to set up the next game. And that will be Lancaster facing off against UEA Blue Jays. That is going to be an incredible series coming up next. You better be watching after the break because it's going to be incredible. We'll see you for that.
welcome back to the NSE Summer 2020 Week 1 broadcast. Next up, we've got an absolute banger of a series. We've got spring season champions Lancashire versus the most improved roster of the off-season, UEA. Dragon, do you want to give a brief talk about these teams and what the schedules are looking like?
Well, at the moment, these two are ridiculous teams. Let's just start off with that. Lancaster, they've already proven they are a ridiculous team. They won spring, so that's something to talk about. UEA Blue Jays, they've picked up Ant-Man, so suddenly they've just decided to beef up their entire roster by adding Ant-Man to the entire list. But not only that, this is a little preview for what could be one of the semi-finals for the Dragon's Den Invitational on Saturday, the tournament that I'm in fact running. In fact, Sig,
I may be casting that night.
The unfortunate thing is they've the two other casters that we have on board, Distan and Agnol, have chosen a game from that side. So I feel like I think it's actually Loughborough against UEA. So we're going to see UEA on Friday in terms of the Dragon's Den Invitational. We just aren't going to see this matchup. So I'm excited to see this one because we're going to end up not casting what could be this semi-final. So this is going to be exciting to see the result here. Who I'm going to end up seeing on the Sunday for the final out of these two teams. It's a little preview. It's a little exciting, and in fact, it's going to be an incredible series. I'm going straight for it. 5 games. I'm going to say Blue Jays as well. I reckon UEA might actually take down Lancaster.
Damn, going for the upset.
Mm.
I'm going to stick with my predictions. If you saw the Rocket Kingdom tweet earlier, I think Lancashire are going to play second this season. And I think if they're going to achieve that, they need to start off with a win against UEA Blue Jays. I'm going to give them 4 games.
4 games? 3-1?
Yeah,
Man.
I think it's... You've got to remember, you've got Tylacto leading this Lancashire side. You know, RLRS caliber maybe on a good day. Back in his prime, he was a legend. But
that is the biggest yikes I've ever heard, and there's a lot of me that wants someone to clip that and send it to Tylacto later.
Oh no!
But this is a preview, of a game that we're not going to see in Dragon's Den, but we are going to see it in NSE Summer, and let's get them going right now. But Tylacto, for one, he is a great player. He has been a bit of a defensive rock back in the day, but in terms of this Lancaster side, Tylacto is one of the guys who you see more forward on the pitch, getting upfield, scoring the goals. Would
you say that's because defense is a slightly easier role, at least to a higher level? You don't have to move around quite as much, whereas on offense, you have to be relied on to be pretty much all over the field.
It's difficult to say. I think in terms of his mentality, it's just natural for him to be on defense. It's natural for him to be back. So he is solid on defense for that reason. He's just naturally defensive minded. When it comes down to this Lancaster side, though, he sort of transformed more in terms. It's the best way I can put it in terms of our LCS sort of context. It's like Tylacto went from Season 4 Torment, the defensive rock, the guy that you couldn't really get past on that Cloud9 roster, to becoming the Season 6 Tylacto, the Season 6 Torment. So you see more of a Season 8 or 9 Torment where he's missing. But not anymore. Back to Season 6. Straight back to Season 6, there we go. But Tylacto, as much as he's more defensive-minded in terms of RLCS, back then in Season 4, he's transformed into this attacking juggernaut that we saw in spring, and we see, in fact, right now, as he gets the first goal of the series.
We've got to remember, though, that Season 6 Cloud9 was very much beatable. Lost to Weedem Girls in the Uni Cup that year. Lancers may not lose to UEA. That's entirely possible, but anything does go. It's NSE. It's week 1. It's only their second game of the season, and I assume this is a winners' match. Surely these two teams won their first game.
I'm fairly certain it's a winners match. I don't see either of these guys losing the first game of summer unless they somehow faced off against Portsmouth and
No, Portsmouth in fact had their B team in the first round. Slightly unfortunate turn of events for their B team, but and we go Films slotting it in. That's a second goal and a 2-goal lead for the side of Lancers. Still confident in your game 5?
I'm going to be honest. I think
UEA?
my positive my positive predictions seem to be more of a curse at the moment for any team that I choose to side with. But I reckon UEA, they're just starting to warm up a little bit more. This might be a change of pace. I started off this stream by talking about the differences in terms of maybe slower regional teams, maybe more whiffs coming through from regional teams in comparison to their National League counterparts. So maybe that's an issue. I reckon Tylacto, Delicious Mac, and Films, these guys fire on all cylinders at all times. If you've seen Films in Six Mans, you know that for certain. He's always going. But I think it might be a far more relaxed approach from UEA that's causing this. They have been stuck on defense for a while. They managed to break away. What can they do now? As Ant-Man fires towards the backboard, Delicious Mac keeping it away from the center. Mac takes it down.
He's taking his time with this, isn't he? And there we go. Supreme charges all the way down the pitch, gets it through. Ant-Man beats up Films. It's Tylacto, last man back, pops the ball up, tries to cut it under KJ, but isn't quite able to find the angle. Ant-Man, though, probably should have put that one on target. It goes straight over the top. Now the ball's gone dead. Ant-Man, though, picking it up, beaten by Films. Bumped by Tylacto, and now Tylacto getting this clear, buying Lancers a bit of time to reset themselves. And now they're pushed all the way up the pitch.
I think all of this has come down to week 1 nerves and rust in terms of playing together. As Supreme comes through with the first shot and KJ comes up with the first goal. UEA finally getting some profit from their attacks. Delicious Mac blocks out a first attempt, but KJ finishing off top shelf as well.
Perfect placement as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, but both teams looking a little bit rusty, but I have to say, Lancaster do look very much on it.
The only thing I can really fault them for as far as Mac with his questionable ball control in his back left corner. KJ, though, well, he saw Tylacto in net, didn't really want to take that shot, and unable to get up for that waterfall pass.
The odd thing is that's kind of just Delicious Mac in a way. It is a little bit rusty in ball touches as Ant-Man can't find a finish, but Delicious Mac, I would say the one thing that does need a lot of improvement in terms of his skills is his ball control. It can be a little bit wild, a little bit crazy, and it can cost games as Tylacto fakes out one. Do like a good fake as he takes it past 2. KJ just hovering in the air, getting the block. Ant-Man trying to take it back upfield, finds a dunk. It's finding its way into the center. Tylacto finds a clearance. KJ flipping so Supreme can take it. Delicious Mac hesitates on the shot to try and open up the net. Tylacto misses. And UEA, they have an opportunity to move forward. Supreme goes too high, but the drop down is there. A miss comes through from Ant-Man as the final 20 seconds to take down.
Target.
Delicious Mac finding the save, and I think Lancaster pretty much they get away with murder to end this game. 0 seconds, it drops down. Lancaster get away with it in the last few seconds.
I'm pretty sure all Supreme had to do to tie it up was put the ball on target with a decent amount of speed, and he's completely thrown it with. I mean, I hope that was a pass attempt. I hope it wasn't a total whiff. But
all 3 of them missing out on opportunities. Supreme can. I'd say Supreme, pretty much the only one that you can sort of give him the benefit of the doubt, trying to get the drop down. That was a really tough angle, but Ant-Man went flying past, then KJ took way too long taking control of the ball. So as soon as he did, Demetrius Mack was there in the center of the net, ready to block anything that flew towards him. Both teams are ready to move forward, but positive displays from both sides. Certainly the first series of the day has done them good. They've just taken the first game to adjust to their new opponents.
Yeah, UEA have got they're out shooting Lancaster 2-1, but they're not putting them either A on target or B with enough pace to get them behind the net. It's game 2 now. Hopefully we're going to rectify it, but Lancaster will still have something to say about it, even if they try to fix it.
So it comes down to the matchup of quality opportunities from Lancaster to plenty of opportunities generated by UEA. Quality versus quantity, and it's quality that's winning out at the moment. As there's the touch of quality from Tylacto as he passes it to Demetrius Mack, who finishes off for the opening goal of game 2.
Yeah, I think it was off camera, but I believe Mack stole some of the back corner boost, got himself into the centre of the box. Even if that pass didn't come through, Lancaster were going to be well up in terms of domination of the field. Tylacto now carrying this ball out to midfield. It's over to Films, putting it central. It's Mack. Tried to take out Thupreme, but Thupreme ain't falling for no games this time around. Thupreme carrying this ball, deleterious, playing it off the ceiling, bounces down, Films to the side and back into the box. KJ playing it nice and high all the way out. Going to follow up on his own ball, but not if Tylacto gets in the way. Tries to take a second touch, fakes out Thupreme, falling for it this time, but inevitably the ball has fallen back now. Tylacto playing this out to Films, Ant-Man playing it high into the corner. It's going to bounce down. Ant-Man looking for the centre, but isn't able to get a clean touch on it.
UEA getting into the centre. Thupreme, what a block there coming through, but I believe they just got in the way of each other to really continue with the opportunities. Mack moving forward with the ball, loses control a bit. There's the heavy ball touches I was talking about. One of the problems that Mack has, especially with using the Dominus, it's hard to control a lot of the touches you get from it. Thupreme, shot over. Again,
here's what it's on target. It's happened so many times. KJ. Finally.
There's what we were talking about, quality over quantity. There's pretty much 2 shots there that could have found the net fairly easily, but KJ finally having enough and saying, boys, can we please just score this one? So he ties up the game. Mack.
I think Films probably should have done a better job of the ball. Like, could have got off the backboard a little sooner. I don't think it's going to matter though. That ball almost going in. No one there from the Lancashire side to put it in the net at the end though. Mack playing this ball up, but KJ with the catch at midfield. Blocks Tylacto's touch slightly, but Mack is going to clean this up on defense.
It seems to be more Tylacto blocking out the continued touch from KJ there. Got directly in the way of the ball and just killed all momentum that KJ had moving towards it as Mack pinched it into the center. Simple touch from Ant-Man as he brings it forward. Getting it over Tylacto just about. KJ is there, drops it down. Just wide. Thupreme can come in for the challenge. Doesn't find it. Demetrius Mack to Tylacto. The shot doesn't really come through, but does move towards the center. Films can't find a shot. Tylacto will spawn again and push it upfield. KJ can't push it forward with a good touch. Thupreme out to the side. Films pushes it to the center. KJ tries to block it out, but just sets it up for Tylacto. Blast towards the net. Doesn't come off. This game, the next goal could decide it, and it's on a razor sharp edge. One chance.
Both team strategies seem to be working as well. I think UEA, from what I've seen, are probably happy with putting tons of shots onto the opposition net. But Lancashire will be very happy We're getting this nice one clean shot. Tylacto playing the ball behind KJ and Supreme not able to get a solid enough touch to play it back around the side.
I think that was more. I think that was actually towards KJ, but I think Supreme had a little bit of a misread when heading towards the ball. Just couldn't send it wide. Out to the center. KJ. Off the wall. Into the center for UEA, but dropped back down. Lancaster just being able to pick their moment perfectly. They generate incredible opportunities, and Deletris Max sends it in off Tylacto's drop down.
And the problem is, I don't think there's anything UEA can change up really to start getting more goals. But I think they've already reached the limit on the terms of the number of goals they're going to get per game. The area they need to work on if they want to start getting into this series is going to be getting some more of these saves, getting some proper reads on the balls, maybe a little extra communication. We saw KJ and Supreme both back in net for that second goal, and neither of them were able to save it.
For backboard and man into the center. Both KJ and Supreme dropping back, but a whiff
Who's
comes
taking the
out.
shot?
KJ doesn't find the shot. Supreme does, but it's weak, and Tylacto manages to recover in time and help out his teammate. Tylacto off the backboard, Ant-Man pushing it out, gets upfield, doesn't quite have an open net, that does get the block on the clearance. Tylacto brings it forward, 1 versus 1. Can he take it round Supreme? Yes, he can!
Tylacto.
Incredible stuff from Tylacto as he makes it 4.
Right, he's clearly heard what I had to say about him before the game. Sealing the deal in this game with that 4th goal, making this pretty much impossible for UEA now. I hope I'm not blind, but was I the only one that saw, I think it was both KJ and Supreme facing the wrong way as Ant-Man was centering the ball earlier?
No, you are not the only one. I saw it and got so frustrated at these UEA guys.
It's not a good look if you're not communicating well enough to coordinate what was looking like a pretty simple center, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I hate to use my old competitive league as an example, but that's like a BEA level play.
Ant-Man doesn't find some sort of goal to make up for it, but this is interesting for the game that they could be having on Saturday. In terms of NSE summer, Lancaster's running away from it, but the number of problems from UEA that feel so simple to solve that could just be down to, hey, turn around, hey, I'm rotating back. Open your mouths, UEA. Talk to each other. Get your point across. I feel like a lot of these problems coming in from UEA have been communication breakdowns that could be solved just with a few words. And it's not coming through for them. As they're already up.
Is this our first match against Lancaster? Because I'm wondering if it's a lot of pressure.
I think with this roster, at least, it is their first time playing against them. But KJ and Supreme, I believe they played them before.
Of course, Lancaster won last season. Maybe the pressure's getting to this UEA side just a bit. It's happened to me before, a long time back now. We were in the finals and we just choked up against far stronger opposition.
Oh, here we go. Good to see. Good respect done by 2 competitors over on the side. We're down to a 2v2 now. As Rule 2 has been engaged. It is, of course, Rule 2. I will not be having any of this Rule 1 stuff on my casts.
But the other one's the golden rule.
What? No!
But yes!
It's not!
Yes, it is!
Keep it up at 0 seconds is
the
Rule
golden
1.
rule.
It's not the golden rule. That's just... You're sympathizing with those who are wrong.
What happens when what happens when the 2 cars are side by side, both going at the same speed? Because that, as far as I'm concerned, that's
Rule
Rule 2.
That's Rule 2B. This is rule 2A.
That's just rule 2. We're detracting from the game now. Ant-Man's trying to pull off something impressive, and we're just totally ignoring it.
Well, at the moment,
But
there hasn't been much to talk about.
doing.
There hasn't been much to talk about towards the game. It's been very back and forth as KJ takes control.
Wait, have they finally broken? Oh my, they haven't broken up.
No, they haven't.
I thought I saw some movement from Tylactic, but they're not doing it.
These two players are honourable warriors. They are honourable warriors. Not only that, but the entire teams are honourable. They have not decided to go over and break up the duo from continuing this battle.
The thing is, I've seen Tylactic do this before, and oh no, films, oh no. At least he's broken up the rule 1 now.
KJ drops the fairs in chat, and to be honest, I'm going to drop a round of applause in chat. That was absolutely outstanding from the two of them.
It's not the first time I've seen Tylactic do it though. I think it was Counties League last year. Tylactic playing with his Hertfordshire team sat. I think it was a 2-on-1 rule 1, so it was Tylactic and one of his friends against one of my AGSB players. And they just sat there pretty much the entire game while me and Forks tried to score and failed miserably on the Hertfordshire net.
But now we can settle back into something a little bit more normal now. Haven't been locked in another one yet. Steve Green push forward to KJ into the center. Ant-Man just misreading the play a little bit. Still gets a shot on, but Film's able to shut that down quickly. Mac takes it over 1. KJ sending it back upfield. Tylactic into the center. Ant-Man out to the left. Doinks it into the center. No one's there, but KJ does somehow get a shot as Delicious Mac flies past off to the backboard. Tylactic off the backboard again. Delicious Mac needs to get back to it. Tylactic in the end is the one to save.
I think he got 2 saves and a clear. That was a masterclass, and he might just get the ball onto the target. And UAE have something to say about it, but no, nobody else from UAE can get back in time to stop Films.
What UAE have
all
to
the hard
say
work.
Oh, that is a very unfortunate situation. Ant-Man flying through, gets a bump on Tylactic, but that bump ends up hitting, I think, KJ, who was just trying to rotate back to get into the net, and it ends up bumping him out of the way into the corner, and Films had a completely open net to shoot at. Supreme, 50 boost, but can't continue the air dribble. KJ drops it down, finds another block. To the wave dash dribble, you can continue it forward. Films blocks it out. Big clearance into the center. Films shot on target. Supreme sent out to the side. Bops up again off KJ. Delicious Mac into the center. Tylactic decides not to hop up for it as it's easily UEA's ball into the middle. Supreme out to the sidewall. Tylactic to the backboard, and that's a double demo from Delicious Mac, and Supreme cannot do anything about that. Delicious Mac opens the way, and Films finishes it off.
You want to know how to do a demo play? That's a masterclass right there, because Tylactic, he didn't get the best first touch, but Lancaster was still able to make amends and get the goal in the end because it was just such a solid interruption from Mac.
Essentially wiping out the entire team by taking out the 2 in net. Supreme this time. Can't find the bump play in return on Delicious Mac. It's Ant-Man off the sidewall. Gets a bump, and KJ's there too early. Supreme can't finish it off either. Ant-Man blocked out. KJ back upfield. Can he find a second touch? He can. To the backboard. Supreme is there into the middle. Ant-Man blocked out. Bounces off Supreme.
Last chance saloon now for UEA. But if they get catch a break here, that ball not quite trickling into the net. Now with 30 seconds left, UEA need a goal, not only to win this game, but to stay in this series. They are 2-0 down. This could be our second sweep of the night.
Certainly on the verge of it. Films into the center. Supreme blocked again. Stunning defense from Lancaster to close out this game. Still a few more seconds to take down, but that clearance from Films, I reckon that's the nail in the coffin.
I mean, the ball's still up. The Fat Lady has not sung yet. Films tapping this ball around the side. Does not want to keep this up. He just wants to get this to the ground. Ant-Man flicks it up again. KJ back. He's not able to get the height, and the ball hits the ground. Lancaster take Series 3 home.
Once again, we are put in the situation of seeing a sweep most likely when we least expected it. And neither of us said a sweep. You said 3-1. I said 3-2, going both in opposite ways. But definitely not the start I expected to see from UEA. As for Saturday, this is like you sort of said mid-series. This is the first time this roster's played against Lancaster. So they've definitely got plenty of footage to look over going towards this weekend. But
Yeah,
Lancaster,
I think
once again,
regardless of
Lancaster
result,
looking unstoppable.
I think regardless of results of this series, you know, it is 3-0. It probably could have gone either way, if we're being honest. It's not indicative of results it's going to be at the weekend. Both these teams are going to be trying to adapt to what the other team has put on show. Lancaster, yeah, once again, I mean, last game they deviated from the working strategy, which was just keep putting the ball in good places, and if we don't think we've got a chance to shot, don't take it. Last game, 4 shots, 2 goals. That's a 50% accuracy rate across the entire game, which is pretty impressive for high-level play.
Well, that closes out the second series of today as Lancaster take the big win over UEA Blue Jays, joining Durham on the winners list on stream. Next game and the final game of the Swiss before our main event, straight after the fourth game of today, is going to be Ant-Man returning to the stream against Psycho in a 1v1. But next series, we will see what we have during the break. We'll get back to you, but I'm sure it's going to be an incredible one yet to come. And maybe, just maybe, we won't have a sweep to end up this first week of play. We'll see you then.
my heart. Don't wanna feel your touch like ice, tracing all my scars. Why does it hurt on the inside? It's unforgivable, but I forgive you every time. Hard to let it go, 'cause we're intertwined. I break you, you break me, but something about it makes us so, baby. Every piece keeps us together in the cold.
Hi guys, and welcome back to week 1 of the NSE Summer 2020 season. Next up, we've got another huge game. We've got Portsmouth Paladins, the team that placed second in the spring season, and the Arctic Foxes, another massively improved roster over the course of the off season. Some impressive results, both domestically and in Europe. What are your thoughts? What sort of game do you think we're going to see, Dragon? We've seen 2 sweeps so far.
Well, first of all, we're going to get Challenger bracket against Championship bracket. I think these are pretty much opposing numbers in terms of, I believe both of them ended up runners-up in our last competition or thereabouts. I think it was Kent versus Kiel. I think Liverpool came third or fourth in the Challenger bracket rather than second, but sort of opposing numbers. Liverpool have been doing well recently. We brought up it. You brought up in break, and our producer sort of brought up results. They went through in the upper bracket in the same EURC qualification group as Loughborough and Durham and Darmstadt. And Portsmouth in itself, I mean, winter champions, spring runners-up, and at the moment, 2-0 this evening, looking to go 3-0. They're still on it. They're still an incredible team.
And
they're
the
ready
name
to go
that
again.
strikes fear into anyone who hears it, Psycho, the mean machine, and a decent caster as well. If you caught his EUR broadcast on was it Sunday night?
It was Sunday night, yeah. But I think both teams are ready to go, sharing where they're from Berkshire. Wombo gets a little bit ahead of themselves, but luckily we're pretty much done with our analysis of the teams and we are ready to go. As we start off the first game of the series.
And almost a very early goal. It is a very early goal.
It is an early goal.
Getting it over the top. Geordie putting that ball over the top stops that first save having any impact. And I'm lost for words. That was just blindingly quick. I mean, we knew this was going to be probably quite a rough series for Arctic Foxes. But damn, 4 seconds, you're 1 goal up, and they're on the offense again. Okay, never mind. Cat didn't elect to push that straight away, so there's a bit of time for this Arctic Foxes side. Cat, though, he's put that on target. It's a second goal in 20 seconds.
Esper going under the name of Cat at the moment, but his reflexes suit the name as he drops that into the top corner. That is stunning shooting accuracy. But Portsmouth, they just haven't let off. It feels like they just haven't let off ever since spring. It seems like they have a skip in their step. They want to avenge that loss and take summer for their own. As Wombo John brings it forward into the center. Rista not quite there, but Wombo John makes sure that possession stays close to the Liverpool players. As the Arctic Foxes look towards earning a goal back. A whiff from Rowe, though. Can't bring it forward. Cat across net. And
it's
there's
another goal.
Third.
I'm checking my watch. It feels like it's been 2 minutes in real time. We've only had 56 seconds off the clock in Rocket League. These goals coming thick and fast for the University of Portsmouth.
Like I said to start off with, they are not slowing down. They are not laying off. They are going to pressure you until you burst. There's 3 goals going quick succession within a minute. It's Liverpool trying to simply get out of their half, and they're struggling to do so.
I want to give some sort of saving grace for the Arctic Foxes, but I'm struggling to find it right now. Cat putting that ball off target, I suppose, is some consolation for this absolute battery they've been receiving so far. Portsmouth, though, playing like they want it.
Oh, that's a beauty. Oh my goodness,
Thank you,
I'm sorry to interrupt, but Geordie unknown. using the profile picture of the Psycho 5 head and using the length of the Dominus to find a beautiful angle to make it
that's
4.
3 psychos is not a promising sign. One psycho is enough to deal with. 3 is just another level of pain. Those Liverpool side. Portsmouth, though, they are going to need this game. Lancaster, the team you could say they're competing against this season, we've got a relatively easy matchup in the name of Loughborough Ball Chasers, the B team of the Loughborough University. Some
Once
offense
again.
coming up.
Once again, we are stuck with a bit of a pre-show, and it's a worrying pre-show. These guys are on the same side of the bracket for Dragon's Den Invitational this weekend. And this pain could be felt again. I'm wondering what's going through Liverpool's minds at the moment, because they're not just playing for NSE Summer. The Invitational this weekend seems to be pretty well received from the teams at the moment, in terms of taking it seriously, fighting off some grudges, having another chance again. But this might compile the list of Liverpool for reasons they don't really want to progress as they all commit upfield. There's a lesson to be learned for the weekend that will be happening tonight. As 2 commit towards the ball, and Jordi Unknown has the easiest own goal imaginable to make it 5.
It's a 5-goal lead now for this Portsmouth side. It's not looking good, is it? Wambo now with some offense. None of his teammates are there to follow him up, though. Rowe now is going to bounce it off the ceiling, going for this ball himself. That's on target.
Shot.
That's in. Very, very quick from Rowe.
That is an incredible shot from Rowe. I saw him go up for it and just said, all right, go. He got it, but maybe this is the secret weapon for Liverpool, just being unexpected, being out of nowhere. Try and find goals wherever you can, and Rowe makes it happen.
I mean, I believe both Rowe and Rambo John are approaching 2,000 MMR right now, which is a huge feat. It's a mind-blowing feat. It's almost double my 3's MMR. Please don't kill me in NSE Autumn.
Psycho clearing it back upfield. Rowe onto the backboard, but with 0 boost. Esper can just have a shot, and they make it 6. The pain
we only need 1 more for Badman's scoreline.
So the only question hanging over Liverpool's head is, what can they really change in terms of this match? Because at the moment, all I'm seeing is that they've simply become outclassed by a team in Portsmouth that really, out of the 6 teams we're seeing today, they feel like the only one who have not missed a beat in terms of how they're playing. Lancaster at some moments, they felt like they were just a slight bit off. But Portsmouth, this is winter Portsmouth coming back in full strength. This is the team that we saw dominate the National League twice in their splits this year. And they're looking to make it a 3rd split they absolutely destroy.
If you'd asked me back in spring what Liverpool could have done, I'd have said take out Psycho, but I'd say there's a lot of heavy lifting being done by Cat in this series. Or at least this game so far.
If you take a look at the scoreboard, Psycho's at the bottom. Just hit 260 points with the first touch of that dribble.
Right, he's looking to change that though. Oh, he didn't quite get the floor pinch there. If he landed that, maybe it was a shot. We saw the player, I think it was Rambo John, heading out of net early. Either way, 6-1 to Portsmouth. The most clear-cut scoreline of the night so far. And I forgot to ask for predictions before this game, but to me it's pretty clear.
I don't think we need Portsmouth to now. Portsmouth have absolutely demolished Liverpool there, not only in the 6 goals they scored, but look at the shooting on their side as well. 6 from Jordi, 7 from Esper, and 1 from Psycho. But Psycho's provided 2 of 5 assists as well. The saves are also pretty low in this game, but my goodness, Portsmouth, they are back and they are running. They're not just running. Everyone else is running. Everyone else is either running or jogging. Portsmouth are absolutely sprinting just full steam ahead. In fact, they stopped sprinting. They got into a car and they started driving. That's how incredible Portsmouth are at the start of this series, and people are going to have to do a lot to catch up with them.
Well, we'll see if they can maintain this form going into Game 2. There's nothing to suggest they can't, but anything can change. This is week 1 of the NSE. Maybe the Arctic Fox just had a slightly less strong Game 1.
I think that first game of this series is like jumping into a freezing cold lake. A little bit of shock to the system, realizing, wow, we are in a real battle now.
We are 20 seconds in without 2 goals from Portsmouth, so positive signs thus far.
Definitely a good start as both Psycho and Esper move towards the ball. These are the little moments that Portsmouth that do annoy me. It doesn't cause them to break down, but it's just not quite as smooth as you would expect from the Winter Champions. They both just, as both Psycho and Esper, like to go for a few cheeky things. Psycho went for a pinch at the same time as Esper tried to go for an air dribble clearance, but Wombo John having none of the clearance that time, closing it down early. And this might be what Liverpool need. Just as long as they keep boost management up, give Portsmouth no time to act, and you are right back into it.
It looked to me like Psycho might have got caught on the near post there. You can see him going up, and the backflip on the near post, that was what cost the Portsmouth side. I haven't watched enough of Psycho to know if he gets tilted easily, but if he does, that's going to be certainly not the best start.
I have to say, Psycho does have enough competitive experience to know that a series is not dead, especially as you won Game 1 6-1. It's Esper finding the ground pinch as Psycho puts it down to the middle. Geordie's there again, but Rista closing it down early this time. The thing that they weren't doing previously. Closing things down early. As Rose sends it towards the back line. Psycho clearance that field. Rista to the center of the field. Geordie unknown. Get a shot on target. There's Wombo John. Finds clearance. Cat. Shot saved by Rowe. Liverpool stepping up to the task in this Game 2 so far. But 1 goal is definitely not going to be enough. They need to find another. They need to get themselves out of their own half, because at the moment Portsmouth are starting to take over. They are starting to suffocate this Liverpool side. Up in the air, Rista doesn't find the ball, and there it is. Absolutely suffocated. No air to breathe. And the Arctic Foxes ran out.
I mean, Rista actually missed that ball off the backboard, so I was saying no boost to spend. It was savable, but with the amount of pressure, Liverpool were going to crumble eventually, and now they need to find another goal, as if the first one wasn't hard enough in the first place, with Psycho literally throwing the point away. They now have to find another.
Rista almost finding a way through, getting caught in net a little bit. It moves into the center. Rowe can't move up yet, but it was smart not to commit, as he can push from here. Out of boost, but still moving forward. And maybe, like I said, this is what Liverpool need. Go a little bit risky. Go for a few 0 boost plays on the attacking side of the field. We saw it for quite a while there. They managed to hold on when they had just enough boost for quite a while. So we are moving towards the last 2 minutes to tick down. But the aggression that they've turned on when they are upfield has been exemplary for how you take on this Portsmouth side. So they're now once again stuck on defense. They need to find Rista needs to find a follow-up touch that doesn't come through. Rowe this time. That's the touch you need. And you now have time to get boost. and keep attacking. Wombo John, the shot is on target. Psycho managed to save it out wide. Esper into the middle, and again, Rista's challenging early. This is great stuff from Liverpool. They're really taking this to the Portsmouth team that shut them down last game as we enter the last minute and a half. But now Portsmouth have a chance. Geordie Unknown doesn't take it on. Liverpool once again, this is the opportunity, a big clear out field. What can you do? They let it slip through, but Psycho's redirect will go high. Rowe, opportunity to move it forward again. It's only Psycho back. Liverpool, what can you do as the Arctic Foxes are digging deep in this game too to try and find a way past the Paladins? Geordie Unknown.
Boost was starting to become a problem for this Portsmouth side there. We saw Cat had to go all the way out to mid to get some boost. Cat, no, that ball's on target, I think. Rose missed. It's gone on target. The Paladins have secured at least a lead with 49 seconds left. A misplay from Rowe. He should have had that. Did not quite have the right read on the ball, and it just trickles into the top part of the net.
Portsmouth will take that goal. They themselves have been put under pressure impressively in this game. Such an even matchup. If we get 4 more of these games, if Liverpool can find their way into this one and take it from there, I will not be disappointed to see this series go all the way as Rowe can take it forward. Can't take it past Psycho. The wrist is there to back him up, dropping it down to Wambo John. Geordie gets a challenge in. So the last 18 seconds to tick down, and 1 goal required for Liverpool, but this might just be it. As they are struggling for a bit more for boost now. Geordie gets a challenge. They're starting to get the siege locked in, restricting Liverpool, and that's how it will
It's not
end.
over yet. Rose kept it up. Cat playing it off the back, but it's bounced down. Rista and John both scrambling to get to the ball. John is going to get it past Psycho. It's bouncing down. Geordie Unknown finally gets the ball to hit the ground. It was close. They could have
gutsy performance. You can easily describe that as a gutsy performance put in from Liverpool. They've really put in a shift there against that Portsmouth team. Really got them hot under the collar. Just that one moment from Rowe where he just flipped a little bit. Well, he started to jump off the wall a little bit too early. Got to that edge of the net a moment too soon to be able to save the ball roll trickling and bouncing towards the net. But that's how you play against Portsmouth. Don't give them a second. And at this point, it's more important that you don't just focus on Psycho and not give him a second. All 3 of them are a danger now. All 3 of them are at that standard where whatever they do, when they get the ball, they are going to make you suffer for it if you don't close them down early. And that's what Liverpool did. An incredible performance from them. Do it again, boys. Here's the problem, though. When you try to consistently do that, the stamina will slowly run out in the series, and you'll slowly get tired of having to go early and keep going and keep trying and keep picking up those 12 pads, and slowly it will run out. Liverpool need to take this game. They need to get the reverse sweep rolling. As Portsmouth, they do sit 2-0 in the series so far. But I think Liverpool, they've found the key, and they need to keep trying.
I don't think getting tired in this series is going to be anything to get worked up about, though. This has been a strong showing from Liverpool, win or lose in this game.
The statement for Liverpool will be taking taking Portsmouth to game 5. It'll be a statement to Lancaster for what Liverpool can do. Show them they are a competitor at this level as Rowe opens up the scoring yet again for Liverpool.
This is looking reminiscent of Portsmouth's start to game 1. Rowe gets the ball to bounce down off the ceiling. University of Portsmouth, I think, respecting him a little too much. All 3 were in the net, but not in the right part of it in order to save the ball. 4 minutes 40, 1-0 for University of Liverpool, Arctic Foxes.
Hesbert now shifting forward. Rowe into the centre. Nobody's staying in net. 2 of them committing. And here's the problem with going for pressure and early challenges, is that both of them wanted to do it against Geordie. And there is a quick equalizer for the early goal from Rowe.
I'm just going to use that goal to illustrate a point. There's a difference in Rocket League between playing quickly and playing with haste. Because if you play hastily, you'll make mistakes like that, where you just charge out of net trying to beat your opponent to the ball and end up giving them a free goal because you haven't communicated effectively with your team. Rowe, though, is playing this ball into the box. It's bounced back around, but Wrist is still in control. It's bounced down. It was looming over the box, but Cat now playing this ball away.
Esper, that's a great dribble. That is a stupendous dribble going through from Esper. Taking it from one end, cuts one side, gets enough time away from Wambo John trying to concentrate on getting into position. We can send it to the opposite end. Under a minute, we have 3 goals. 2 going the way.
Is it safe to say at this point it's back to programming as scheduled?
I don't think so. And as soon as I say that, it's the third. But Liverpool can do it. Liverpool have shown they can do it from that game too. It's just like I said, that sort of stamina where you think you've got it for one game and you think you can push it, but all of a sudden your mind sort of goes a little bit too much and you end up focusing up on things too much. And I feel like that might be what has happened here.
I was going to say we've seen Arctic Foxes defend, because they did actually only manage to get 1 goal last game, but they can't defend now either. We're back to this game 1 state where the University of Portsmouth are able to just carry on putting goals on net. Rose, we just saw a bump between Rowe and Rista there. The mentality of these Arctic Foxes players has just fallen to pieces. Rista playing this off his own back was an opportunity for Cat, but it's saved, albeit with a double commit by this University of defensive Rowe. Going up looking for a double touch, but Geordie's blocked it away.
Look, Rista keeping it alive in the Portsmouth half. And here we go. As soon as I say that again, the caster's curse comes in. University of Liverpool, they're getting themselves into good positions, but they aren't getting themselves into great positions. They're getting themselves into passing positions, but they don't connect with the passes. So it all just ends up causing their attacks to fold, leading them to have to reset, or Portsmouth find a way through on a counter and get a goal themselves. Rose sends it upfield. Wambo John is there, trying to find a way off a corner. Rista keeps the bumps going. Esper, Psycho, a little bit of miscommunication there, but Psycho finds the better touch as it ends up deep in the blue half. Rista with control over the top from Esper. Psycho trying to drop it down the side from Geordie.
You just alluded to it with the slight communication issue on Portsmouth before. I think that's going to be the University of Liverpool's best bet at getting back into this game. Portsmouth could get sloppy, and then that will give Liverpool an opportunity, albeit probably only brief, with the class that's on Portsmouth, to either apply some more pressure or put the ball into the net. 2 minutes left. They need 3 goals. It's not impossible. It is going to be difficult.
Esper shoots high, stop from Rista. So that moves out to the halfway line. Wambo John up, moving into the center. Cat down to Psycho. Rowe finds a clearance. Wambo John redirects. Stunning stuff from Liverpool as they take it within 2. 1:37 left.
Well, they're certainly on pace to make it, aren't they?
They definitely are. And that opportunity very well taken from Wambo John. There's slight moments where they do something a little bit unexpected and a little bit out there. It's what's earned them goals.
And that's a demo now. Rowe has been bought a lot of time. He's trying to fake out Psycho. Psycho not getting faked. If he pulled that off, that would have been pretty disrespectful to arguably one of the best players in the league, if not the best. Rowe getting that block. He's only got Cat to beat, but Cat able to clear it out to Geordie. Geordie, I think he had that on target, but Rista with the solid touch to get it away.
Psycho. He's starting to take control. Can't really find a way past Wambo John, but it still ended up falling for him. Rista up towards the net. Esper dropping it down to the side. Psycho up. Wambo, John and Rowe both up, wanting to try and take their team within one. It
They
hasn't
must have been up
completely
in the air for a
unraveled.
good 2 seconds, surely. And now, okay, the players on the Arctic Foxes are starting to respawn. I think we saw a double demo come in from Cat just there.
Rista up to the side. Psycho trying to take control. Rowe into the middle. Rista's up. Great block coming through from Geordie. It's end up being a little bit closer than the Sart would have said, as Liverpool managing to bring some shots on. But as I said very much earlier, they got themselves into good positions, but not great ones. And Psycho in a great one himself to finish it off. And that is the nail in the coffin with 2 seconds to go. Portsmouth sweep Liverpool in a statement to the rest of the competition in NSE summer.
And of course, we have to play these last 2 seconds out. The University of Liverpool probably don't want to at this point. Wambo John, nonetheless, going to try and centre this for Rowe, but with Psycho putting that ball away, it's making this look less and less likely for a consolation goal. Wambo John going up once again, is going to bounce in the corner. Wambo John able to keep it up, balls hit the ground. And as we said before, 5-2 in favour of Portsmouth, 3-0 in the series. And Portsmouth looking like the strongest team in the league and justifying my pick first place.
Very much justified to start off the season. Another sweep coming through. But it looks like the show matches off. Psycho says he can't do the ones game right now. So that's unfortunately won't be seeing that, but it's great to see Liverpool. They stepped up in game 2, and sort of that middle point from about 2 minutes 30 towards the end, Liverpool seemed to step up a little bit more. They found themselves a goal. They brought it within 2, and just they couldn't quite finish the job in pulling it back to evens. So that might be the end here. We might get a message in a bit about the show match after between Ant-Man and Psycho. So we'll give that moment. But in terms of NSE summer, this evening, tonight the action is over, but I believe we're going to have a break. So in fact, not for the show match not to go on, but to allow Ant-Man and Psycho to just have a little bit of a break before they go into ones. But Sig, what are your thoughts on tonight in terms of the teams? 6 teams, 3 winners, 3 sweeps coming in.
It's not as close as I was expecting for my first NSE cast, but pretty impressive nonetheless. Looking forward to this show match though between Ant-Man, who won the most recent 1v1 friendly tournament, and Psycho, who won was it both winter and spring?
Yeah, both winter and spring.
So two solid 1v1 players coming up after this extended pause. See you in a bit.
We'll see you then.
The shadows causing an outbreak. I'm wishing upon a star. This time I'm feeling stronger, and I know I can do better. The shadows causing an outbreak. I'm turning the light. We're gonna light it up, oh, light it up, ooh, light it up, causing an outbreak. I'm turning the light. We're gonna light it up, oh, light it up, ooh, light it up, causing an outbreak. I'm turning the lights on. Open your eyes and see the people chanting, slowly falling apart. The silence causing an earthquake. I'm wishing upon a star. This time I'm feeling higher, and I know I can be taller. Shadows causing an outbreak. I'm turning the light. We're gonna light it up, oh, light it up, ooh, light it up, causing an outbreak. I'm turning the light. We're gonna light it up, oh, light it up, ooh, light it up, causing an outbreak. I'm turning the lights on.
That our blinded hearts could withstand cold.